Saturday, 1876. Two letters that expose the critical errors that sealed the fate of Custer's 7th Cavalry. Join me as we dive into the two letters that sealed Custer's fate. This video we uncover the hidden truth of Custer's 7th Cavalry defeat at the Battle of Little Bighorn. Before we continue, please make sure you like and subscribe to our channel to support our community. These two letters highlight the fateful decisions that sealed the fate of the 7th Cavalry, providing fresh insights into a battle that has captivated historians for generations. Discover the truth behind the most infamous battles. The events of defeat for Custer's men have long been studied. George Armstrong's 7th Cavalry Regiment faced a combined force of Lakota, Cheyenne, and Arapa warriors in the Battle of Little Bighorn. The battle, which ended in a catastrophic June 25, 1876, is forever noted in the pages of American history, with Lieutenant Colonel stating that this outcome was not just a matter of bad luck, but also critical errors. The Rosebud and Yellowstone Rivers. On June 21, 1876, General Terry's command witnessed the establishment of a supply depot at the mouth of the Powder River, and the conversion of the steamboat Far West into a mobile base carrying 30 days' worth of provisions and forage. 4 days prior to Lieutenant Colonel Custer's ill-fated charge, Mr. Kellogg and his entire command, including the correspondent, met their tragic details the events leading up to the battle. The steamboat was moved to the mouth of the Tongue River, with the headquarters command mouth of the Tongue River, an estimated 40-mile journey up the Yellowstone River Valley. Along aboard, Lieutenant Colonel Custer marched from the mouth of the Powder River to the Custer, who owned an antelope at 400 yards and narrowly missed several agu hens. The terrain north of the Powder River, covering a distance of 12 to 15 miles, was rough, with difficult marching conditions, poor soil, and sparse vegetation, yielding only sagebrush. And the way, nothing of significance occurred aside from an impressive display of marksmanship by Cactus. The column stumbled upon an abandoned Indian camp on the 15th, which was probably less than a year old. The Yellowstone River, in its current state, is remarkable, with its waters rushing quickly, creating swirling eddies and whirlpools that mimic the sound of a gentle breeze, rustling pleasant to the taste. The Yellowstone surpasses the Missouri River above its confluence in years old. This camp, which stretches over 2 miles, probably housed 1,200 to 1,500 lodges. Game was scarce and no buffalo was spotted. The water is refreshingly cool in terms of volume, and its navigability by steamboat is much superior. Contrarily, the water of the Tongue River was deep reddish, flowing swiftly, and less appetizing. However, they disregarded General Terry's explicit instructions. A copy of these orders, dated June 19th, states that Major Marcus Reno was ordered to conduct a thorough reconnaissance of the Powder River. On June 19th, Lieutenant Colonel Custer, along with 6 cavalry companies, successfully crossed from Major Reno's encampment. Unfortunately, Major Reno, along with 6 companions from the 7th Cavalry, had not only deviated from the Tongue River, approximately 3 miles from its mouth, but also proceeded to a point approximately 9 miles from the Dakota Department's headquarters in the field, is appended below, extending to the confluence of the Little Powder River. Major Reno's command was given provisions for 12 days and forage for the same period. The guide, Mitch Beyer, and 8 Indian scouts specified by its confluence with the Yellowstone, where he was to expect the remaining companion from the Lieutenant Colonel Custer, were to report to Major Reno for duty. He was to cross Pumpkin Creek and the Tongue River and proceed down the Tongue River with 7th Cavalry and supplies. Major Reno made a grave decision, deviating from the planned route by a fresh and hostile trail. General Terry's original plan had envisioned Major Reno joining the reconnaissance up the Tongue River, across to the Rosebud, and down toward General Terry. Acting Assistant Surgeon H.R. Porter was also assigned to Reno's column by Brigadier General Column in the Tongue River Valley, where Lieutenant Custer would organize his regiment for heading south from the confluence of the Powder to the Rosebud River, where he encountered Terry's command. General Terry would proceed by steamer to the mouth of the Rosebud, unite with the 22nd, Lieutenant Colonel Custer with 12 cavalry companies, and scout up that valley until they met Lieutenant Colonel Custer. The valley would follow the trail found by Major Reno in the hopes of engaging the Indians. But Major Reno's actions thwarted this plan, allowing the main Indian force, numbering about 1,500, to evade capture. A new campaign was now underway, and on June we were hunting buffalo and moving leisurely. General Terry would march by steamer to the mouth of the Bighorn River, scouting the Plumpkin-Creekin route, with General Gibbon's forces marching up the Bighorn Valley to intercept the good reason that this band of evil characters, known as Sitting Bull's band, would be the reason why the men pant and sweat profusely. But the cavalry kept pace with, and deep canyons. Often, General Custer's light-colored buckskinati are captured and eaten appropriately. Lieutenant Colonel Custer's command executed a swift march from the Tongue River to the Rosebud, traversing difficult terrain with steep descents Indians if they attempted to escape via that route. Optimism is now high, and it is believed, with could be seen in there, followed closely by the vanguard of the column as they ascended the lofty heights from the winding abyssal depths below. As the Yellowstone Valley erupted further, its features became more noticeable. The gravel boasted sufficient depth at its usual allow stage to permit light drafts and steamers to traverse its length from its confluence with the Missouri River to the mouth of the Bighorn. A concealed the branches that stretched far outward over the yellowish waters flowing swiftly below. The riverbanks were abrupt. The channel remained constant, and the bed, made up of the vegetation, grew in size, encompassing both grasses and timber. Enchanting esettes frequently came into view, complete with a dense growth of trees whose vibrant green foliage was nearly 500 miles away. I describe this stream as I see it, with the intention of informing the many readers from the Herald length, which ranges in width from 1 to 15 miles. The upper portion of the Yellowstone Valley, which is a beautiful valley, will be populated. The upper half of the valley in your native east is comparable in terms of quantity and quality, for the richness of soil, for health and climate, and for its abundance of the confines of a racetrack, whereas the valley in the far west, which spans from 30 to 500 miles in the upper half, surpasses there in terms of grass and timber of its magnitude and potential for commercial purposes in the near future, when its game, its quantity of fish, and other attributes. Brigadier General Alfred H. Terry, who is leading this expedition, exemplifies my ideal of a commanding general. He has a sharp mind, wisdom, foresight, composure under pressure, and rare executive abilities. He is also friendly, courteous, honest, and manly. I think his planning has been of the highest caliber, and unless his subordinates thwart them with their actions, they must be successful. He has won the hearts of those who have come to know him, and he is highly regarded by the respective positions. Now, for the most peculiar person in the Army, an entire command. As for his staff, I must say that, although it may seem odd to singe out individuals, I find the gentlemen to be kind, courteous, and high-toned, each of whom fills their man with strong impulses, great-hearted friendships, and bitter enmities, quick, nervous temperament, undaunted courage, will, and determination. Amon has an iron constitution and an electric mind. She is abrasive, faithful, and gallant in everything she does. She is determined to succeed as she understands it, in a soldier who has warm friends and bitter enemies, the hardest rider, the greatest pusher, with portraits of pain in life that are drawn from both observation and experience. One is respected and loved by his followers. How would you follow him freely into the speak, of course, of Lieutenant Colonel G.A. Custer? Do not think I am exaggerating. I can say the same for the Army and its soldiers, who are brave and true frontiersmen, mostly Scottish and Irish, with a few Americans in the ranks. They are from the West, and I think that the current expedition under General Terry's command is and 7th Infantry. Based on years of experience and familiarity with the best in the American service, the 7th and 2nd Cavalry, as well as the 6th, 17th, and 20th. My acquaintance with General Gibbon's command, the 7th Infantry, was brief. They are tough, reserved, but brave soldiers who can be trusted in any situation. The finest fighting men in the Army, in my opinion, are under General Gibbon's command. He is a brave, wise, and cautious commander who is known for having led the Nez Perce, which are General Crook's troops, which are primarily composed of white and Mexican soldiers who drove General Indians out of the Judith Basin last summer with a force of only 150 men, with no losses to his troops. I don't doubt this success now. Thanks for watching, and I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. If you want to explore more fascinating history, be sure to check out my other video on the Battle of Little Bighorn, where I delve deeper into the events leading up to Custer's last stand.